So I'm gonna try to get rid of the rust. So I'm getting ready to get the gate painted, but before I do that, I'm gonna use some acetone to clean up the gates before I spray paint. I know before I said I was gonna use paint thinner, but I decided not to because that would strip away the paint, and I don't really need to do that. So I'm just gonna use acetone to clean up the gate, both the side gate and the RV gate, and then I'm gonna go ahead and spray paint the gates. Acetone. As you can see right here, the rust doesn't come off completely when I use the acetone. So if you really want to get rid of all the rust, then you can use like a rust remover. You could use like this rust remover right here to get rid of the rust if you feel like you need to remove more, because it doesn't take away all of it, it just takes away some of the rust. So if there's rust on the floor, you can also use this product. Start using a brush with water and scrub, and you have to keep doing it for a little bit, and eventually it'll disappear, but not right away. Now that I'm done using the acetone to clean up the gate, getting it prepped up for spray paint, I'm gonna go ahead and tape around the gate before I do the actual spraying. So I taped around the area because I didn't have like a cardboard that I could just hold with me while I spray, and it's just easier for me to put like newspaper and some tape around the gate just so I won't have any overspray on the wall. Just that area where I'm really going to spray. I don't have to tape up the whole thing, as you can see. Even with this little piece of metal right here, that's also part of the gate. Now that I got everything taped up and ready to go, I'm ready to use the spray paint and start spray painting. So when I start spraying, I try not to overdo it. Maybe I do 2 or 3 coats and then I move on, because if I put too much, sometimes it runs. So once I feel like I did a couple coats, I move on to the next. Whether I'm going vertical or horizontal is the same thing. Just a couple coats and then I'm good to go. That's gonna do it for the paint. Now that I'm done, I'm just gonna go ahead and take off the newspaper and the tape, and then we're gonna see how it looks. So once I'm done, I start removing the tape and the newspaper, and as you can see right here, it's all complete. There's still some rust underneath, but that's gonna go away. But it's really more about spray painting the gate. As you can see, it's all black with this Krylon spray paint. I did have some issues with the spray paint, which I will explain later when I show you the RV gate. But for the side gate, it was pretty straightforward. Just clean up the rust and then start spraying once you prep. Again, it's a small area, you know, so it came out pretty good as far as the spray paint. Not really any runs to it. But again, as you could see, there's rust on the floor, so I started scrubbing that, but it didn't go away until the next day for some reason. Maybe the Rust-Oleum had to sink in for a little bit, and then eventually it just went away. So here, while I'm still filming, you can still see it, but you see the stuff is still on it. It's still eating away the rust. The next day it did finally dissipate. As you can see, even here it starts dissipating even more, but now it's gone. So let's move on to the RV gate. Here's the RV gate. As you can see, it's bigger than the side gate and it's also very rusted. I haven't really done anything to this gate for about 10 years or so. And so you could tell that it's in need of some paint. The first thing I did was take care of the floor, which I learned from the first gate. Here I started putting some Rust-Oleum. You can put as much as you want. I just try to put a little bit more, and then I just kind of spread it around the rusted area. After that, I start using my brush, start scrubbing with water. Again, it's the same thing. It's not gonna go away right away, but just keep scrubbing, and then eventually it's gonna go away. I started using acetone to clean up the gate. The same idea, making sure that I get rid of as much rust as I can before I do the paint. So I put some in this rag, and then I just start trying to clean up the gate. And some of the rust will go away, some of it will kind of stay. It's up to you whether you want to rub some more or just go ahead and start prepping for paint. So I'm getting ready to get the gate ready for, I'm prepping the gate for paint. Sometimes it's a little tricky to open the spray cans, as I've already used quite a bit of them. And yeah, when I start spraying, again, I try to not to overdo it, just to do a few coats, because if I do too much then it starts running. So I try not to do that, but once in a while it still runs. I just try to be more careful with the spray can. Eventually I ran out of spray, and so I had to wait the next day to order some more spray. And what I didn't realize is that because I'm using spray cans, that I would end up using so much. And so right here, when I start spraying, this is already like my 6th or 7th spray can. What I didn't realize is that maybe I should have just what I did is just get a spray, and then just get a gallon of spray and then just use a sprayer. Would have been probably more cost effective to do that. I also had issues with dripping from some of my spray cans for some reason. I don't know if it's just this batch, but I did order quite a bit, and it started just making a mess every time I spray. One thing to note too when you do spray cans is that it's gonna start hurting your fingers, so you have to take breaks. This is the RV gate. As you see, it's all painted right here. It came out okay. But there were some issues, of course. So I've mentioned some of the issues I've had with spray painting the RV gate. One of the main issues obviously is the fact that I used up too much spray. I would say a total of 12 spray cans, including the side gate, of course. If I was going to do it again, I would just buy a gallon or so of paint and then use one of those professional sprayers, rather than buying all these spray cans, right, which really adds up. It's not very cost-effective approach. Right there, see, I missed like an area because I ran out of spray. I had to order another spray can just to cover that area. But overall, it looks good. I just wouldn't buy spray cans in the future because I think it costs too much. Came out okay, had a little bit of runs, but you can't really tell from far away. From up close you can kind of tell, but from close it's all right. Also, I got rid of the rusting. But overall it was okay. But I think next time, this is the first time spray painting, right? I would probably use like maybe a gallon of paint, because I ended up using about almost 9 sprays for the RV gate and 3 sprays for the side gate. So that's a total of about 12 sprays. So that's more than I should have used. I think it would be more cost effective if I use just 1 gallon of paint for everything. But overall, it came out okay. My first experience. Lesson learned: next time, don't use so many spray cans. Just get a gallon of paint and make it more cost effective. So until next time, stay safe and keep on rolling.